We're going to do the awkward silence.
Yeah, all right, there we go.
And for time with Myriad, you got Coach Jared here and
Daniel.
Daniel. I love it. Coach Dan is what I call him. But we're going to go with Daniel today. So Daniel.
That is my
I think this
legal
is
name. That is
your
my legal name.
Third or fourth
This
appearance?
is number 3, I believe.
Okay, you're keeping track.
We did one on just general weightlifting. We did 2 on the meat, and then we did, this is number 3.
Got it. You know, I don't know if you know this, but I actually put my seat a little bit higher than yours on purpose. Do you feel that? I feel a little bit taller. Those who don't know, Dan is 7'4". Actually, how tall?
6'6". Yeah.
Okay, so you're a little shorter than I thought. For some reason, I thought 6'9" was resonating.
No. That would be a doorway touching height, I think.
That is true. Today we are talking about something super cool, and that is weightlifting, which is your expertise. But even cooler than that is a lifetime achievement. I'm going to call it the Lifetime Achievement Award that Dan is going to be receiving. But
I don't see a statue, but it's fine. You know, it's okay. I don't see like an award. You know, but it's okay.
It's in my backpack.
Go ahead.
So what has happened recently that we are giving out this Lifetime Achievement Award? What's going on in your world?
So Eddie Ginnon, one of our weightlifters, has been selected to the Weightlifting World Championship team. Hooray.
That's huge.
Yes. This
like,
is
break
huge.
that down for a second. That's like like one person in a weight class across the entire country.
Yes, so
it's just wild.
So there's a. Do you want me to give you the details?
Yeah, dude, let's do it.
So there is a selection process over a given period of time. You have to be ranked in the top 2 in your weight class, and also the top 10 in the United States. So that's through a competitive system. There's math involved. So not only are you lifting against yourself and then the people in your weight class, but then everybody else on the team. So
I didn't know that third part.
Yeah. So and it's a very math-driven thing. So you select your attempts at certain meets based on that. And to put it in perspective, we've been like so close and not made it several times.
Interesting.
So like when you're like knocking on the door, it's like how close do you want to get and not make it?
Yeah.
Right? We've basically been in that scenario more than once, which is more frustrating than
always the bridesmaid and never the bride.
Yes, right.
So.
Yes, yeah, right. It's like more frustrating than not making it at all.
Yeah.
It's like not even being close, right? It's like when you're so close, you're like, oh, it's there, we have it, and the next thing you know, you're not. So,
but we did it.
Yeah, so we did it. There was a selection procedure. We needed people to turn down their spots, so that happened. So we went from number 13 on the list to number 10. So that feels great, or ish, 10-ish, maybe 9. It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
Top
We're
10,
in.
the numbers
Eddie's
are there,
going
the
to
percentages there.
You're going there as well.
So
So
I will
actually,
be going there as
what
well.
is there? Where is there?
Manama, Bahrain.
Okay.
So if you don't know where that is,
Can you spell it?
Bahrain. It is.
Can you spell the city?
Manama, M-A.
Just joking. I wouldn't know.
I think about the what is it? Kokomo song, right? You know, like the.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
Right, like sounds kind of like that, right? It is west of Saudi Arabia. It's a small little island. They are in the Middle East, and we'll be going December 7th through 11th, so the second full week of December. And it is a partially funded trip due to Paris. Most things post-Paris have not been funded.
Interesting.
So a lot of the youth competitions and such were not funded at all for the athlete and the coach. They have come up with a funding solution mostly for the athlete in this case.
Interesting.
But the coach is not funded. And normally, Worlds and Pan Ams, which are the 2 biggest meets for U.S. lifters, are normally funded by USAW. So this has put us in a situation that we knew we could be in. We wish we had more runway, but this is a self-funded trip for me, so I'm looking to raise money, as you know, one would. So we will have several opportunities for that. We can explain more, but
let's do that now. Let's tell us about those opportunities to fund this, because
number one, you could just give money. We'll have a link that we can link in the show notes, right? Or on the medias, in which you could donate, which those funds would go directly toward our efforts. And then we'll be selling T-shirts as well. That's in the works, so it needs to get done. We need to come up with a design. I have some cool designs in my head. Just got to make it come to fruition fast.
I always love designs in my head.
And then right. It's like we got to get it on the shirt, and then we got to sell it. So be on the lookout for that. And then any other creative ways I can think, we will go ahead and do that. So those things will be coming at you.
Love it.
And,
so go ahead.
And talk more about the level 3 process.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was going to,
I
would love to.
Our time is 5 minutes. Great.
Don't worry
Look
about
at
the time. The time doesn't matter. We just have
5.5. Right.
We just have it running back there as part of like the 4-time aspect. So Dan, here's
yes.
the question.
Yes.
What does this mean to be a level 3 coach, international level coach?
Yes.
What does that process look like? How many are there? Like, give us the big scope of like, this is super important. It's like the World Series of coaching in the realm of weightlifting.
Yes. So
bad analogy, but World Series
right.
Sorry.
It is supposedly.
Sports.
Yeah. Right. No. So the numbers I'm not going to get right, but it's way less than you think. But basically, to get up the rankings in USA Weightlifting, you start at level 1, which you can go to weekend certification.
Mm-hmm. We've hosted level 1s here.
Yeah,
in fact,
right.
I think we've maybe hosted level 2s before in the past, or there have been some in
possible
Indy.
level 2s. There's definitely been level 1s here. That's a weekend certification. And then a level 2 you can take with a weekend certification. Then that starts to kind of separate the national coach part, where you have to basically produce athletes to a national level. You can do a combination of youth, junior, senior. There's a rubric for that. Each of them, like you basically have to have enough points. So you have to be the number 1 coach, and you have to try to take that person through that process. You have to go to the meet, you have to coach them, and you can get your national coach. From there,
and you've been a national coach for years.
Since 2017.
That sounds
so
right. Yeah.
A lot of people will get to level 2. Way less will get to level 3. So in level 3, you have to put an athlete at the next level. So you have to go to the international level events. You can do a combination of youth, junior, senior. Worlds will definitely get you one that is where we're at. So that feels great. And that will happen. So it's not fully done.
Huge.
So
I
still have to go. It has to happen. We have to do all the things. We have to make it there. But it is the next level that I've been looking forward to. So it's a great opportunity to do that. And there's 2 to 3 in Indiana. Will Fleming is one. And in the Midwest, there are several. And then I want to say, like, I'm not going to put numbers on it, but
less than 20 nationally, or
maybe 20ish. Like, there's been people that have had it for a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like, it is definitely a hard thing to get.
For sure.
And you have to, it's taken a lot to get here, taken a lot of rolls of the dice,
Totally.
To make it happen. So a lot goes behind the process of it.
Yeah.
I've just been like, okay, maybe we'll do it this time. Maybe we'll do it this time. Maybe, like this, right? So like, how close do we want to get, right? So it's like we've been like one lift away, and this is kind of the story of it. And a lot of people have probably been in that scenario as well. So you got to have a little bit of luck. I feel like no one really talks about that. They're like, oh, like I did the thing. I started to prepare the athlete, for that day. And like at the end of the day, they got to make the lift. It's on them, right? We're there to guide them. But then there's got to be a little bit of luck involved because every national meet can be a roll of the dice. Things can go your way. You may get a bad call. You may have no chance to appeal it. And you just got to live with the result. And that's probably the most frustrating part about really just like, sports in general, right? So
yeah, but every story has a story,
yes.
right? Like there's
right.
the ups and downs, the processes, the variables, the things that are involved there. Like no one just goes to the Super Bowl in their very first year or their rookie year and then decides to win it 10 years in a row, right? Like there's gonna have to be some obstacles through the journey. So congrats to Eddie.
Yep.
Congrats to you. I know it's like I don't want to cart before the horse, but like super cool that we even are having this conversation right now. So excited for that. Can you share? So we're gonna have. I'm just gonna recap a little bit. We're gonna have a link for like. Is it like a GoFundMe or is it
a direct link to Stripe? So you can donate to that. You can select whatever amount you want.
Cool.
It can be 1 cent. Doesn't matter. it will send it along, so you get to choose.
Yeah. And is that funding Eddie's travel and stuff as well, like
So
partially, as well as yours?
There's a lot of his that will be funded based on the scenario. There will be some that is not.
Okay.
So we need to get some for that, and then myself, of course, it's one of those things where my efforts to provide value and to raise money for that. So if there's anything from a coaching perspective that the world would want to see, you go and let me know, and I'm happy to provide that in the exchange for any value that would have.
Because this is the way I look at it is this is an investment into a certification for yourself, and that's huge.
Yep.
To do that, but it's in a very, very expensive certification.
Yes.
And also a time-sensitive one,
yes.
so to speak, in the sense that you guys are leaving in December, early December.
Yes, and it's one of those things it is the norm, so I will do it, and I'll absolutely take support. I don't like asking for money,
I was going to say,
but I will absolutely.
I know you, and for you to do this now, you have this conversation. It's not easy for you, but I appreciate that about you. That's how much this means to you, and you can tell that it's so important. So.
Yeah. Yep. So
respect.
It is one of the challenges that is okay. Come on in.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, right.
You're good.
So it is one of the challenges, but it is the norm. So I'm happy to hop in there, and some people that's their love language or whatever, type of thing that they like to see. So
give me a 30-second rundown of Eddie, weight class, some big lifts, some numbers, just so people.
He is in the men's 81 weight class. He has snatched 148 in training, 145 in competition. Clean and jerk.
Anyone who doesn't know what that means, multiply that by 2.2-ish, and that's pounds.
Yes, and
that's a lot of weight.
Clean and jerked 182 in competition. Several times had a bad decision on 185 and 186. Has done 184 in training. Jerked 205. And back squatted near 600. He's a former wrestler, so
he's built for this.
He is a square build, shorter man. He has 2 SpongeBob tattoos.
I love
one
this.
on each feet, because why would you just get one?
Yeah.
So he's got one in color, one in black and white. It's of course you need 2. If you get one, you got to get 2. Just a lovable guy, just in terms of there's no one that doesn't like him. And just a wild man, just really loves to train hard and have fun. And it's been trying to dial in the process with him and just trying to get him to make the right lift at the right time has been the biggest challenge.
Last question for you. How long has this process been?
For
Eddie specifically?
For this particular Worlds, we had a chance at Nationals, and then we flew to Dallas on a very short trip. And that's where we made the total that got us there. So we hit the world minimum total, and that put us on the map. In order to get us in that position. So neither of those meets went perfectly.
Yeah.
But
his journey as a whole, from grabbing a barbell to where he is now.
So he started weightlifting. He started really weightlifting in college heavily, and then got into it then, and has been a strong guy for a long time in a lot of ways. And just trying to get him to dial in the weightlifting and trying to get him to compete at that level has been a real challenge, to overcome. But we've almost hit this several times.
Years.
So 2022 was the first opportunity where it was close. And you go back and forth, you're did I make the right call? Did I make the wrong call? But that's always those things that you learn. So that's part of the process of it.
It takes years to hone in your craft. 5+, 10+. It doesn't just happen overnight, people. It doesn't happen overnight. Awesome. Right. Dan, thank you.
All done.
If you have the ability, please help Dan and Eddie get to Bahrain. We'll have the links everywhere. And if you see them, give them a high five at the gym.
Yeah.
This is a super cool opportunity.
It's big.
Thanks, all. Thank you, sir.